Hello everyone, welcome back to CloudOpsCraft. In our scenario-based Docker interview series, today we are going to discuss about Docker in CI/CD pipelines. Let's start. First question: why we have to use Docker in CI/CD pipelines? If they ask this question, interview context will be interviewers want to see if you understand the benefits of consistent environments in automated workflows. Let me explain. Docker ensures builds and deployments run in identical environments regardless of developer or pipeline agent machine. This prevents works on my machine issues, provides isolation, and simplifies artifact promotion from dev, staging, and production. Images are versioned, portable, and reproducible. So, how to answer an interview? Docker allows CI/CD pipelines to build, test, deploy applications consistently across its environments. Images are immutable, portable, and reduce environment related bugs. Okay, this is how you can answer. The next question: how do you build Docker images in Jenkins and GitHub Actions? If they ask this question, interview context will be they want practical steps for automation in pipelines. Okay, let's start discuss. First in Jenkins. Okay, in Jenkins we will discuss both scenarios, Jenkins as well as GitHub Actions. First in Jenkins. Okay, so in Jenkins, let me zoom this better. Okay, we will use docker dot build docker docker dot build image name colon tag. Okay, in a pipeline or shell steps, in shell steps we will keep like a docker build hyphen t my app latest, like this. Okay, this is in pipeline, this is in shell mode. Okay, in GitHub Actions, GitHub Actions we will use a docker slash build hyphen push action. Okay, to build and push images to a registry. Okay, to ensure docker d or runner has permissions to execute docker commands. CI agents can use build caching to optimize build time. So, how to answer an interview? In Jenkins, I use pipeline DSL or shell commands to build images. In GitHub Actions, I use official build push action. I also manage credentials for pushing images securely. This is how you have to answer. Next question: difference between building locally versus pipeline. Okay, locally versus pipeline. If they ask this question, the entry context will be they will test awareness of environment differences and reproducibility. Okay, so let me explain. Local builds may work because developer machine has dependencies or cached layers. CI/CD builds are ephemeral. Okay, they start from scratch and require all dependencies to be defined in Docker file. Okay, so pipelines ensure consistent reproducible images with no hidden local dependencies. Okay, so how to answer an interview? Local builds may rely on cached layers or local tools, while pipeline builds are clean, ephemeral, and reproducible the image exactly as defined in Docker file, preventing environment specific issues. Okay, so the next question will be how to store image artifacts. If they ask this question, interview context will be they want knowledge of image registries and artifact management. Let me explain. We can use Docker registries like Docker Hub or GitHub Container Registry, or you can go with AWS ECR or private Nexus repos. Okay, so CI/CD pipelines push images after build only. Okay, images are versioned with the tags. Okay, we can go with semantic versioning, or we can go with git commit SHA. Okay, registries serve as artifact repositories for deployment. Okay, so how to answer an interview? After building, images are pushed to a registry such as Docker Hub, ECR, or GHCR. Okay, we use tags for versioning and deploying the same image from the registry to multiple environments. So the next question is, build works locally but fails in Jenkins. Why? If that's this question, the entry context will be, this is a common CI/CD troubleshooting scenario. Okay, detailed. Let me explain this. Cause will be missing build dependencies or different Docker versions or missing environment variables or network restrictions or catchy differences. Okay, Jenkins agents may run in container themselves, limiting permissions. Okay, file paths or volume mounts or build arguments could be misconfigured. So how to answer an interview? I could check build logs, verify Docker file dependencies, environment variables, and ensure Jenkins agents have proper permissions and network access. I also rebuild with --no -catchy to rule out catchy issues. Next question: how to manage credentials for registry? If that's this question, if the entry context will be, they want secure credential management in automated pipeline. Okay, let me explain. We can use Docker login with the CI secrets, username and password or token stored in pipeline secret manager. We have to avoid odd coding credentials in Docker file or pipeline secrets. Okay, use Docker login at runtime. In GitHub Actions, just use okay, with with colon secrets dot docker password, like that, with secrets dot docker password example. Okay, docker password like this. Okay, so how to answer an interview? I store registry credentials in CI/CD secret managers and use them at runtime. I never hardcode credentials in Docker files or pipeline scripts. Okay, this is how you have to answer. The next question is, how to optimize build time in pipelines. If they ask this question, the interview context will be, interviewers want efficiency in awareness in large projects. Okay, let me explain. Use multi-stage builds to reduce final image size. Leverage build catchy by ordering Docker file steps from least to most frequently changed. Use shared base image. Avoid copying unnecessary files. Parallelize builds if multiple services exist. How to answer an interview? I optimize builds using multi-stage builds, catching layers effectively, ordering steps carefully, and copying only required files to reduce rebuild time. Okay, so this is how you have to answer. Okay, so next question is, what's an image promotion? What is image promotion strategy? If they ask this question, the entry context will be, they want knowledge of deployment workflows in DevOps. Okay, so let me explain. Image promotion is moving an image built in dev staging to production without rebuilding. It ensures the same artifacts is tested and deployed consistently. Tags like dev, staging, prod, or commit SHA identify promotion tags. So how to answer in interview? Instead of rebuilding for production, I tag the tested image appropriately. Okay, example, my app prod and deploy it. This guarantees the deployed artifact is identical to the one tested. Okay, so the next question, how to tag images dynamically? If they ask this question, the entry context will be, they will check knowledge of versioning and automation. Okay, so you can use git commit SHA. Okay, you can use git commit SHA. Okay, you can use Docker build -t. Okay, my app git underscore commit. Okay, and you can use a dot if you are having your Docker file in the same folder. Next is semantic versioning or branching names. Okay, so you can use like my app colon 1.2.3 like that. Okay, use CI/CD environment variables to generate unique tags automatically. So how to answer an interview? I tag images dynamically using git commit SHA or semantic versions. Ensures traceability and producibility across those environments. Next question, deploying containers using pipelines. Okay, let me explain those steps. If they ask this question, interview context will be they want an end-to-end understanding of automated deployment. Okay, let me explain. It has six steps. Okay, let me explain one by one. Okay, first is checkout code, checkout code, and run unit test. Okay, second is build docker image, build docker image and tag it. Okay, third is push image to registry. Fourth is deploy container, okay, to stage or prod via Docker Compose or Kubernetes or firm, anything you can use. Fifth is run smoke test. Sixth is rollback if needed. Okay, how to answer in interviews. Pipeline deploys code automatically, build image, push to registry, deploy container, verify functionality, and roll back if failure occurs. Okay, so the next question, how to handle image cleanup in CI/CD? If they ask this question, interview context will be they test practical maintenance and resource optimization. Okay, so let me explain. Remove old images to save disk space on CI agents using Docker image burn-a. Limit retention in registry. Tag ephemeral builds with unique SHA to avoid overwriting active images. Okay, so how to answer an interview? I prone unused images locally in CI agents and set retention policies in registry to manage disk space efficiently. Okay, next is blue-green deployment with Docker. If they ask this question, interview context will be they want to assess knowledge of zero downtime deployment. Okay, let me explain this. Maintain two environments. Okay, one blue for live and green for new. Okay, your live environment will be blue. Okay, blue will be live environment and green will be new environment. Okay, deploy new Docker containers in green. Okay, switch traffic using load balancer when green is ready. Okay, roll back to blue. Okay, if issues occur. Okay, so how to answer an interview? I use blue green deployments to reduce downtime, deploy the new version in parallel, test and switch and traffic. Docker's portability makes spinning up green environment easily. Next question, kernel deployment, kernel rollout concept. If that's this question, entry context will be evaluates ability to deploy updates gradually. Let me explain. Deploying new version to a small subset of users and containers. Okay, if you want to deploy your new version only for some set of users, then you can go with kernel rollout. Okay, and we can monitor metrics and logs for stability, and we can gradually increase traffic if no issues, else rollback. Okay, it reduces risk of widespread failure. How to answer an interview? I perform a kernel rollout by updating a small set of containers first, monitor performance, then gradually increase deployment. Container images ensure identical behavior in all stages. Next question, using Docker with the Kubernetes deployment. If they ask this question, into context will be they will test orchestration integration knowledge. Okay, detail. Let me explain. Build Docker images in CI/CD pipeline. Push to registry accessible by Kubernetes cluster. Kubernetes deployments or pods pull the image and run containers. CI/CD handles image updates and rolling deployments automatically. Okay, so how to answer an interview? I build and push Docker images in CI/CD, then Kubernetes pulls the same image for pods. This ensures consistency between CI builds and production deployments. Next question, end-to-end pipeline flow example. If that's this question, interview context will be it evaluates understanding of complete workflow from code to production. Okay, it involves nearly 10 steps. Okay, let's discuss that. First is code commit. Okay, first step is code commit. it triggers CI/CD. Second is we will run unit and integration test. Okay. Third one is we will build Docker image and tag dynamically. Fourth is scan image for vulnerabilities. Fifth is push image to registry. Sixth is deploy container to stage. Deploy container to stage. Seventh is run smoke test or L checks. Okay. Eighth is promote image to production. Promote image to production. Ninth is monitor container metrics and logs. Monitor container metrics and logs. Tenth is rollback if necessary. Okay, these are all the 10 steps we will perform in real time. Okay, so how to answer an interview? An end-to-end Docker CI/CD pipeline starts from code commit, builds and scans, image push to registry, deploys to staging and production, monitors containers, and supports rollback. Each stage ensures consistent and reliable delivery. Okay, if you like this breakdown, subscribe to CloudOpsCraft. We will simplify cloud and DevOps concepts every week, as well as you can get all these interview questions as a Medium article also. I'll provide like Medium link in the description. Please access it if you need. Okay, thank you.